Hey, Happy New Year. So I want to talk about how to set goals that actually stick. So in this video, I want to give you an acronym that I learned back 20 years ago that allowed me to achieve 70% of my goals the first time that I ever used it. Now, I do want to begin by just, wishing everybody a Happy New Year. And if you haven't set goals yet, you need to set goals. Listen, a goal without a plan is just a dream. Now, I've always been a big dreamer. Dreaming is fun, but isn't it time to actually start achieving some of your dreams by having specific goals? But let me just start off real quick with a story of how I learned about this acronym. One of the first seminars, it was actually the first seminar that I ever went to, was in 2000 in Philadelphia, and one of the speakers was talking about goal setting and taught on this acronym, have SMART goals. Well, I wrote it down. I loved it. I was a dreamer. I'm like, all right, let me try it. I mean, I was so hungry back then, and I still am, but I was so hungry for success and wanted things to work and wanted my life to change so bad. I'm willing to do anything, right? So this speaker started talking about you have to have, SMART goals. So I wrote them all down. Now, I left that seminar and put that paper away somewhere and didn't look at it for years and years and years. And then I ended up, getting my own place, and I found that piece of paper and I pulled it out and I have it. And I showed it to you guys before, and I'll find it again because it's really awesome. But when I looked at it about 7 years later and I started checking off, I achieved 7 out of 10 of those goals that I wrote down. Now, I'm sure the speaker talked about, having it in front of you and looking at it every day and having affirmations and things like that. And I probably missed that part. But my point is, because I wrote it down, that it was in my subconscious for all those years. And you know what one of my biggest goals was, if not the number one goal, was to build a house for my kids. And it was that house that I was moving into, that I was looking through those papers, that I saw those goals and I was like, wow, this stuff really works, right? But I just didn't pay any mind for, all those years. So here's a big tip. Make sure it's written down. Written down on a piece of paper, not in your iPhone, not in your cell phone, not in a notebook. Well, yeah, you can put it in a notebook somewhere, but just have it written down. Like, physically writing your goals down, it does something magically. Now, I'm not going to get into the magic part. I don't believe in magic, but subconsciously it's there and something magical happens, whatever that is. So let's talk about specific goals. Now, I know that there are a bunch of people that have learned different things, and if you set goals and it works for you and you're achieving your goals, keep doing what's working for you. This is just what I learned and what worked for me, and again, it worked for me. So this is what I do, okay? So specific SMART goals are this. The S stands for specific, M is measurable, A is actionable, R is realistic, and T is timed. Now, when you talk about having a specific goal, okay, and I'm just going to talk about, financially, okay, because I think most people want to make more money, right? And if you don't want to make more money, you're probably not watching this anyway. So let's say you want to make more money. So let's say you're like, I want to make $100,000 this year. That's pretty clear, okay? That's specific, $100,000. Maybe you need to make 110. You write down 110. Now, again, it needs to be measurable. Well, $100,000 is measurable. Now, actionable. What actionable means is, what are you willing to do, or what are you going to do to achieve that? Now, R is realistic. Now, it needs to be realistic. And this is probably the most, dreaming is fun. And it's great to say, oh, I want that 50,000 square foot house. Okay. But listen, if you've never lived in anything bigger than an 800 square foot apartment, well, let's be a little realistic. So a realistic goal might be, let's say you make $50,000 a year and you want to make $75,000 a year. That's pretty realistic. Okay, there's plenty of things that you can do to earn an extra $2,000 a month. But if you've never made more than $50,000 a year and you're like, well, I want to make $250,000 a year, it might be, it's not impossible, but it might be a little unrealistic for you, especially if you've never, done that before. I'll give you another example of like an unrealistic goal. I've been guilty of, liking sweets. And, I may or may not have had a problem with ice cream in the past. And if I were to say, listen, I'm never going to eat ice cream again, that's unrealistic. But if I say, you know what, I'm just going to cut ice cream out. Maybe I'm going to have it like once a month for now. Like, that's a more realistic goal. So don't confine yourself and don't make unrealistic goals, because that's what most people get frustrated. And that's where most people tend to give up on their goals. Now, timed. Now, I know there's a big, I put this question out there, I don't know, last week or the week before. And some people say they have time, they don't have time. Again, this is just what I learned. Have a timed goal. When do you want to achieve that $100,000? So let's say you want to do it this year. Well, the goal is when? Do you want to do it by March, the end of March, the beginning of March? A lot of people have, depending upon when your birthday is, they may want to do it, around their birthday. But if your birthday is in February and you want to double your income, well, again, is it realistic, okay? So let's say, being realistic, you want to go from $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year, okay? Pretty realistic. You want to do that this year by December 31st, 2020, and write that down. And again, you want to be using I will statements. Again, this is just what I learned and it worked for me. So here's what a SMART goal with I will statements sounds like. I will earn $100,000 by December 31st, 2020 by 11:59 p.m. by working in my own home-based business. That is very clear. That is very specific. And that is something that works for me. And again, I think the most important thing is when you write it down, like just what I shared with you, it was stuck in my subconscious. All the things I dreamt about, all the goals that I had was in my subconscious because I wrote it down. And it was there. And when you start doing it and you start achieving those things, it is going to blow you away, like freak you out, like, wow, this stuff actually works. It worked for me. Now listen, if you have a different goal or a different way of setting goals and you want to share it, go ahead and share it. But again, this is just what worked for me. And again, the first time I did it, to achieve over 70% of those goals was absolutely amazing. I do it every year, and I'm probably, I tend to set some lofty goals, but I'm anywhere in the 70 to 80% range consistently, which is pretty cool. So again, guys, don't let anyone tell you that you can't achieve it. Don't let anyone tell you that stuff like this doesn't work. It does. You know who it doesn't work for? The people that don't believe it. But guess what? Somebody like me needed something to work. I found this, it worked, and I want to share it with you guys. So listen, make 2020 your best year ever. If you haven't written them down, write them down. And another thing that I'm going to share with you, because I see that she just popped on here, get an accountability partner. Tell somebody about your goals. Because when you tell somebody about your goals, well, guess what? You can't hide anymore. And get an accountability partner. But it's not even about hiding. It's about being excited about it and professing it and telling people, this is what I'm going to do this year. Yeah, I know I've never made more than $50,000 a year, but I'm going to make $100,000 this year. And you start telling people about it. And then you wait to see I wouldn't wait, I would go after them, but you'll start seeing opportunities pop up in your life. And again, you need to make some decisions. But have fun with it. Get excited. This is an exciting time of the year. A brand new decade. Anything is possible. You don't want to be sitting when that ball drops on, midnight 2029. You do not want to be like, wow, I can't believe I wasted another 10 years. So do it today. If you guys need help, reach out to me. Let me know. And also, if you want to join my free community, the Social CEO community, just drop the word community here in the comment section, and I'll add you into that group because we go over some great stuff like this. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you guys soon. Happy New Year.